my fellow readers. Today I'm going to be talking about another book duology, and this one is Amber and Dusk and Diamond and Dawn. These also have very nice covers. These are by Lyra Celine. Hopefully I'm saying, or is it Lyra Celine? I'm not sure. Hopefully I'm saying that right in one of the two ways. But they do have nice covers. This one I got quite a while ago. It was in, I don't remember if this was an uppercase box book or one of the other book crates. I think it was uppercase box though. And it was an autographed edition. And when I read this one, because I had put off reading it for quite a while, so I just had it on my TBR pile and I just was reading other stuff. And then I finally picked it up, and when I did, I really enjoyed the book. So then I finally picked up this one after its release. And it took a while for me to pick this one up, and then it took a while for me to read this one. So what do I want to say about this? Okay, first I will give you a very quick overview of it, and then I want to talk about another issue that happened after I completed it. So the main events in Amber and Dusk, we follow I think her name is Sylvie, when it begins, and Sylvie lives in kind of this poor section of the country, and Sylvie dreams of a better life, and she really believes that she deserves to have a better life, and she's determined to get it one way or another. So Sylvie ends up leaving her area and traveling to the Amber City, where she is determined to make a better life for herself, and she ends up getting a sponsor toward that better life, whose name is Sunder, and she kind of rebrands herself, renames herself Mirage, and the book really just follows her getting into this courtly lifestyle and meeting all these different characters and kind of the dark side of them, but also her uncovering like this story that's going on, and but kind of coming into her own. And that's really what happens in Amber and Dusk. I read it a long time ago, so I can't give too much more than that. Yeah, there are scenes too which deal with her and like her former friend from before, where, you know, he kind of, I guess, tries to get her to not be so obsessed with this new lifestyle, but then she's like, no, she's very determined that this is the life for her. And then of course secrets are revealed about her, which kind of make her believe, yes, I am right about this being for me. And so it follows that whole path. And when it got to the end of that first book, I was like, oh, that was interesting. I know I need to pick up the next one. And so I did. And that's Diamond and Dawn. And Diamond and Dawn follows the now Mirage's story after the events of the first book, and after she's uncovered different secrets, and these major events happened in that one. And she has to go on this further journey to discover more about herself and her family and just everything, and about the country as well. And she comes to this interesting conclusion at the end, including with her own personal life. And then I finished it and I was like, oh yeah, okay, there's got to be like a third one, right? And so I quickly went to Goodreads to look up the third book, only to discover that dreaded statement that I think anyone who reads a book and wants another one just dread seeing, and it is: the publishers chose not to pursue any future books in the series. So this ends as a duology. And Diamond and Dawn, it has an ending, and I guess you can be fine with the ending. It's not like, it's not a huge cliffhanger or anything. It's just, it does leave you unsettled to where you would possibly want to have more from the book, and more to the ending. But you ain't going to get it. That's as far as it goes. Sometimes when that happens, I would love to see the author saying that they're pursuing a self-publishing option, because they personally wanted to tell more of the story. And that has happened before. I'm trying to think of the book, but I can't right now. But there is another author And I read the first book and I was like, that's not too bad. And I think the publishers chose not to continue with that series, but then she self-published, I believe, through Amazon. And I've been contemplating whether or not to go on, because it's not like I super loved that series, so I don't know, contemplating it. But I feel like that's one of the dangers in getting into these books that are a series and designed to be a series, because sometimes if it doesn't sell as well as they were hoping to, it won't get optioned and you won't necessarily see the end of it. And that's what happened here. And I'll never have book 3. And that was mainly why I wanted to talk about this book. Because yes, the story was interesting, and I have to say, like, I loved the different characters that we meet in the first book. This is a fantasy, so like the people that she meets in the court, like, all have these different abilities, and some of them make life kind of difficult for the people who actually have the abilities. And I don't know, it was just interesting. It was interesting to see the different abilities and then how they're played off of each other, and all like the kind of needling and backbiting that happens at their special parties and everything. And Sunder, who is her sponsor in the court, like, their relationship was very interesting to me, because one minute you're like, Sunder, are you evil? But the next minute you're like, oh, I like you, Sunder. And I loved that kind of conflict in the dueling personalities. Just the whole idea of what is better, and like how she should be facing or dealing with these issues, and you know, is this the better life for her, or should she have just stayed with her previous lifestyle of just living in the peaceful but poorer area. I don't know, I liked it. I liked that whole duality. There was a little bit less of that in Diamond and Dawn, and maybe people just didn't pick up on it because of that. Like, I don't know, to me there did seem to be a bit more meandering with Diamond and Dawn than the kind of excitement that existed in Amber and Dusk, which I did think had that whole excitement, the interpersonal relationships, just everything that was going on. But there were some great reveals by the end of Diamond and Dawn, and I really did like it. So I would have been willing to continue on the journey. And it is difficult when you are willing to continue on the journey to then have it be like, no, it's over. Your journey has ended abruptly. You are now kicked off the boat. I don't know. I would love to hear, though, if like other people have had this. Maybe it would be also a way of me avoiding certain series. But have you ever read a series or started a series to then discover that it's over? That the publishers have chosen not to pursue it? I would love to hear what those are. What are your thoughts on when that happens? Because I don't know, for me, that is so hard. I was kind of hoping that, you know, even we would have just been told, like, no, that's the intended end, or it's supposed to be kind of open-ended. That would be more satisfying to me than knowing that the author did have other ideas in mind, and that the publishers just said no because it must not have been selling to their standard, which is really sad. So I just sigh, and I be a little sad, and I'll try to move on. But yeah, I probably would not have talked about this series at all because I had read the first book so long ago, and usually if I read a second book, I don't talk about the series, because you always have to talk about the first book and you don't want to spoil anything. But when I discovered this, I really wanted to just bring up that topic of that this can happen. You can be enjoying a series and then it's like it's dropped. That also has kind of happened with some manga series. Not that necessarily like they're dropped, but where, well, they are, but it's in a different way. Like they'll be told, okay, your story has to end, you know, in 3 chapters. Like they're just told that it's not working anymore. And so then they have to wrap it up. And I'm trying to remember one of the ones I just finished that was like that. And and it was being plotted along so nicely, and then it just like rushed at the end because they were told that they weren't pursuing further publication of it, like they weren't getting the numbers, and so it was wrapped up so abruptly. And you know, this kind of thing can happen, and it's tough, but we'll carry on. So you can share your thoughts below or just move on with your life. That's fine too. That's it for this video. Until next time. Bye.